we go. We're live.
Does it say it already?
Yeah,
Oh, no way, Rob. Are we
there we
really?
go. We did it. Technology worked. We love it when technology works.
Absolutely. Hey, guys. I am so honored. I got to actually see them so I know what I'm doing here. Hey, you guys. I am so honored and so flattered and so happy that I got to spend a few minutes talking to Rob before here. So we got a mission and we got a message for you. But he's a two-time author, which I've got his book here, and I'm gonna pick his brain with this book. But also he's a social media strategist like I am. He's a public speaker, consultant, and he's T-Gon Nation. We'll talk about that later. And Rob, just to let you know, when I gave you some questions just to prep you up, I said, I wanted to, you know, let you know what questions I was going to ask you, but you said I could ask you anything. So I will let you know before we get off of here. There's one question you don't know I'm going to ask you.
That's great because to be honest, I only read the first question and then I stopped. Because I like just be intuitive. I have so many questions in interviews that even if I read them, I always forget before. So ask anything and everything you want, and we'll just have some fun here.
Absolutely. And some of my friends know this and some don't, but we connect because we're both introverts. And that's something we don't talk about often, right?
Right.
But I just want, I can't introduce you and do you justice. So if you could go ahead and talk a little bit about your background that you're willing to share, I really greatly appreciate that very much.
I like long walks on the beach with the sunset. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's the simple version. No, I've like all of us, we all have a story as we go. Many successes, many failures. I tell everybody I just failed my way forward faster than most. I started out with a tennis career, played semi-professional tennis, played college tennis, and then from that I transitioned into teaching tennis. Then after teaching tennis, I ran a tennis club, which I thought was my dream job. And then about 12 years ago, I shifted into the direct sales industry, which I thought was the last thing I'd ever do, being an introvert, being called in from the tennis club. They told me I was so bad at selling tennis memberships. They're like, you're great at teaching tennis, but you're awful at selling tennis memberships. And I was like, I just don't want to like push people. So then going into direct sales, I felt like this is the most awkward thing in the world, talking to friends and family about something I want them to do, but then making it about them, but then being bold. And so it was like this, like my worlds were colliding as I went. So I went through a lot of trial and error over the course of 3 years with a multi-billion-dollar company. I did become the number one recruiter out of 1 million distributors. But again, that's the highlight version. My 5th month in the business, I made less than $400 for the month, and I worked 80 hours a week. I could have gone to work at McDonald's or anywhere that would have paid minimum wage, and I would have been filthy rich compared to that month. So yes, I went through doubts. I went through trials. I went through, everybody else is lucky, blaming everyone else, right place, right time. They're really not that good. And so I went through all of it, but I was very fortunate that I had incredible mentors. I was extremely coachable, and I worked really hard. And so over the course of time, that's how I was able to develop that network and skill set to become that top recruiter. I built my business in 40 plus countries. It was a phenomenal experience. And then several years ago, I transitioned into full-time consulting, coaching, public speaking, and all the fun stuff. And so the last 2 years, I've spoken in 15 countries, and it's just been fun. I just got back right before the huge Corona, right, panic hit. I got back from Australia, and then it literally hit 2 days later. So I was in Australia and New Zealand. So I'm like, yes, at least I got that in, right, which was great. And so that's the short, abbreviated version. And then I've got an incredible wife that I've been married to for almost 16 years and 4 kids.
Beautiful
And that's the deal. My favorite quote is die with memories, not with dreams. And for me, what makes me happy is going on trips and creating those memories with both my wife, just her and I, and then with the entire family. We just got back we were an entire week up in Sundance and literally just got back 30 minutes ago and up at our cabin in Sundance. And we got to hang out with the family. And have fun and do a lot of crazy fun stuff there. So there's the life story.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, I want to do a quick shout out. I don't know if you remember Tyra Manukes. She's a good friend of mine. I forget to say her name. We talk like all the time, but she's seen you like 3 times. And she really loves you. You're very loved. You're such a decent guy. I know you're helping a lot of businesses, a lot of people at this time of crisis. And for you to take time out for me to do this is something. You're like my first like interview person, and who better not than for talking about the topic of fear and getting out of that comfort zone. And I think people, because they just say, well, Lynn, you just do it. But and I didn't pay him to say any of this, trust me, I couldn't pay him enough for this, but speak from the fear point, from basically from the book on your points on from victim to and so on.
Yeah, for sure. So
And why you were motivated to write the book about it.
yeah. So I was just thinking about it. First, I thought about it from a standpoint of my greatest strength when I played tennis was my mental toughness. I was talented, but I wasn't the most talented at all, but I was the toughest as far as mentally goes. My brother was on a scale 1 to 10, probably 7 mentally tough, but his athletic ability was a 10. I was the opposite. I was a 7 on athletic ability, which is painful to say. I'd like to say I was higher, but I was a 10 on mental toughness. And so I was just thinking about anybody who has success in anything, not just direct sales, but in anything, mindset will eat skills and systems for breakfast. If you don't have the right mindset, you're never even going to get to the skills and systems because your vision isn't going to be big enough. You're going to make excuses rather than finding solutions. So I started thinking about it, and I started challenging different formulas for what it's going to take to be successful and what prevents people from success. And again, remember, I coached tennis for years and years and years, and almost nobody knows this, but even once I transitioned into direct sales, I just barely stopped, and I'll start again here soon as we moved, but I think it was 14 years of free coaching for a high school tennis team. And that high school tennis team, we took state. It was either 9 or 10 years. And that was for free. I didn't get paid anything, but I love the mindset of helping people to achieve. So it's tennis, it's direct sales, it's real estate, it's anything. It doesn't matter. It's being a parent, it's being a spouse, it doesn't matter what it is. So I started thinking about it, and I thought, everybody always focuses, are you a victim or you're a survivor? And I'm like, there's got to be more. So what I came up with is victims, we all know. Victims focus way too much on the past. Victims focus on all the problems. Victims focus on everything that's wrong. And then I transitioned into survivors, which we know of. They're just hanging on, which is good. But the problem is most people think it's one or the other. And survivor is good. It's a necessary step, but it's not good enough. Survivors don't have success until they transition into conquerors. Survivors focus too much on the future of someday, which makes it where they don't take action today. So victims focus too much on the past. Survivors focus too much on the future. Conquerors borrow from both the past, so they learn from the past. They borrow from the future vision, and they focus right now on the present, and they know someday isn't one of the 7 days of the week. They know urgency is synonymous with wealth, and they take action. But here's a big clarification that I think has helped a ton of people with my book. It helped me a lot. I know I learned the most from writing the book. But you're not just a victim, survivor, conqueror. You're all of them. The more successful you are, the more you're in the conquer mindset. So let me give an example. I feel like I'm extremely mentally tough. Like when I say again, that would be my superpower. I have so many weaknesses, you wouldn't even believe it. You think I'm just being nice saying that? Just ask my wife, she'll tell you. So many weaknesses. We all do, but so many things it's like crazy weak on and other things crazy strong. But self-discipline for me and mental toughness, I haven't missed one day of personal development in 12 years. I've only missed one day of spiritual reading in 12 years. I haven't missed one day of prayers in 12 years. I went an entire year where I didn't have any white carbs at all. I went an entire year. I went 10 years where I averaged less than 10 days an entire year of having candy or desserts. And I'm obsessed with candy or desserts. I was addicted to Dr. Pepper. I haven't had one drink in 15 years. I'm
You
nuts.
don't look it.
I'm just like, I'm crazy. I'm nuts. I pick things and I go. So when this whole Corona thing hit, right, I was totally fine, good. And then I just had to cancel, which was supposed to be finishing tomorrow, a mastermind that I was doing. And the first thought was just like literally thoughts flooding through my head. I was pissed and I was bummed out. I don't get pissed or bummed out. My emotions are like as even kill as it gets. And the first emotion was like just so mad and frustrated because of everything that's going on, right? For me, first thing, it's not even income. It's a lot of income, but it's impact. These people really needed this and wanted this. And then after that, I transitioned into surviving. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And then I shifted in that same day to a conquer of, you know what? How can I make this better? How can I make this mastermind? I'm going to postpone it a couple months, right? Fingers crossed. But right now it's planned for June 22nd. How do I make it where it's even better now? And so I shifted. But see, the difference is because I'm more of a conqueror, when I go through the victim or the survivor mindset, I shift quickly back into the conqueror mindset. We all go through victim and survivor. The conquerors are just stuck less in the victim or survivor mindset. The conquerors focus on solutions. You can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't do both. You can focus on problems or solutions, but you can't do both. So my mindset is always fixated on solution, 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 gratitude, 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 crazy optimism. And I'm still human. Like I just shared with you, I went through that quick little roller coaster and I was like, no, get out of it.
It's live TV here. So, hey, so you know what's really funny? And I really think it's cool. Do you remember that before I was going to do the conference and be on stage, that we talked that we were actually going to do, and then you were going on your trip to Hawaii?
Yep.
And it's like, we've been trying to do this for a while, have we not? Like under the radar, right? But look at this. Like, I really think everything happens for a reason. I always tell that people, but look, it took us right now to, this is like our time to share this. I mean, like you doing this book, I mean, like, and me reading it when I was, you know, I don't know if you knew this, but when I was in Florida, I was with my dad. He didn't have internet. I had to go on the carport because the trailer wouldn't get internet. Like, you know, and then your dad, you on the phone again? You on the phone? Yeah, dad, you know, I mean, like, I was like, I think that also prepped me up for this whole, you know, internet going down or anything, you know. But again, I just, you know, it comes to the survival that, you know, we said we would flow with this, but look, we both had a time slot that we could actually make this happen. And that's what people got to realize, because I mean, we could have both been upset that, oh, we wanted to do it before I went on stage. We want to do it after I got back from the stage. We wanted to do it, I think three times at least that we were going to do this, and it didn't work out till now.
Perfect timing, right? What better time to talk about fears and mindset? I mean, it's interesting. One of the 5 fears I talk about in there, as you know, is the fear of the unknown. Right now, that may be one of the greatest fears, because everyone's like, oh, am I going to be able to work in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks? Am I going to go broke? Is this thing going to last forever? Am I going to get sick? The fear of the unknown is huge right now. And that's why I go through each one of the 5 fears, the main 5 fears. And then what I do is I break down what a victim looks like in those fears, because some people don't think they are a victim or a survivor. And once they read it, when they read the examples, they realize, I mean, even my wife's like, wow, I didn't realize how much I'm in the survivor mindset. I have 6 and 7 figure earners message me every week. I was in the survivor mindset way more than I thought last year. These are highly successful people. And so it makes you aware. And then I give you solutions, each one on how you can become a conqueror, because I don't want you to just read a book and say, well, that was good. I want you to have results, life-changing results.
Well, you know what I love about this is I knew all this stuff. I've learned all this stuff. I'm a little bit older than you, 54. So I like knew it. You articulate it all in a book for me to basically say to everybody, here, have this book, come and talk to me later. You know, just to let you know, I have a daughter who on Thursday's going in for a C-section. Okay. I came back 3 weeks ago today. and she's been worried about me from Florida to here, my quarantine. So I didn't even know till yesterday whether I was even going to go visit, take care of her kids while she goes in the hospital, and hopefully her husband can be there. Okay. So I know what kind of times we're in. And yet, you know, I believe in God. You got to lean on that, your own understanding. And these are those kinds of times. I could sit here, ponder, and worry, but what's going to happen is going to happen, right? But this guide really keeps me on course because of that survival and conquering mode. And isn't it funny that when you conquer something, sometimes it's hard to go back and say, shit, how did I get through that? Because this is worse than that, you know? But it's building and recollecting. And I really thank you for this book. And I really think you don't need to be in network marketing to have this book. So, you know,
it was actually initially written for everyone. And then we went back after the book was done and just added a lot of lingo for the network marketing profession. Just because obviously that's, I always say niches to riches. That's my specific niche. But both my first and second book, initially, maybe I'll learn my lesson for my next book, were all completely written. And then I went and just like, I better add because that's my main audience. So I'm very specific. But 95% of the content is for everyone.
Absolutely. And that's what I really wanted to emphasize here. I know you're short for time, correct?
Correct.
You're really short for time, and we're running out of time here. So the last quick question I want to ask you is, what's the best question you've been asked in an interview?
Oh, I have no idea. Best question I've been asked in an interview. I get asked every day, different ones. I think everyone's just in different places where they're at. I mean, with the questions, some are more strategy, some are more skills, some are more system based, some are more mindset as they go. A lot of questions revolve around people trying to figure out how to get unstuck because they feel like they're stuck, right? Mm-hmm. And it's interesting sometimes, depending on what I read that day or where I'm at, I'll give a little different answer, right? Even though that's the answer for the day, but I'm always evolving and you're always different. And so this type of stuff really keeps me sharp because you're always having conversations and your mind just getting going to keep the creativity.
I can't believe 20 minutes has kind of went by, and we're going to have to cut this off here because I really respect and value your time. So if you'll just drop all your links and all that stuff, I'm going to end up putting it, or if you want to put
I'll just give one. The only one I'll give is you want the book or both books, you can go to the Game of Conquering, second book, and we'll put that in the links. There is a Game of Networking available, but you'll get that in there. Game of Conquering, if you go there, and you'll be able to have access to that. I ship it for free. I don't charge extra for shipping right now. We'll see, that could change. You never know. But right now it's just free shipping and you'll be able to get access to that. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook. And I try to be as responsive as I can. If I don't see it, sometimes I get flooded with messages, but I try to get back to everyone.
I just love you because it doesn't matter if you've made a penny or if you've made billions, you treat everyone with the same respect and dignity. And I respect that more than anything. So God bless you. Be safe. Make sure you're quarantined and don't let anybody else get some germs.
Hey, I appreciate it, Lynn, and all of you for tuning in. And yeah, I hope you found something that you can implement in your lives and some sort of value. And hopefully you get the book so you get to dive in even more in depth.
All right. Take care. God bless. Stay with me a second. Let me end this on Facebook because, you know, this is like whatever on Facebook. Thank you, guys. Sorry I didn't get to respond. 20 minutes did go by really fast, but thank you so much. Bye. I think I shut it off. I will know if I shut it off. Again. Oh, wait, it still says live on Facebook. Live.